Shabbos Daf Yud Aleph. Yesterday we had 4 sayings from Rav Bamechasya, and today we have 5. The first one is, always make sure that your shul is the tallest building in the city, because otherwise it could cause the city to be destroyed. That does not include towers and forts which are not built for living. Rav Ashi was the Rosh Hashiva in Mechasi, said, I saved the city from being destroyed because of the saying. I never allowed anybody to build above the shul. The city was later destroyed, but for different reasons. If a person, says Rav Mechasi, has a choice to be a servant, it should go in the following order. First, he should serve a Yishmaeli. If that doesn't work out, go for a Roman. If that doesn't work out, go for a Chabar or a Parsi, Iranian. If that doesn't work out, only then serve a Talmid Chacham. Because if you upset a Talmid Chacham, the consequences can be disastrous. Worse than a Talmid Chacham is a Yasam Almana, a widow or an orphan who HaKadosh Baruch Hu is very close to and listens to their crying. Another saying, says Rabbi Mechasi, the worst disease is the disease of the intestines. The worst short-term pain is that of the heart. An ache, the worst one is a headache. And the worst thing that a person can have is a bad wife. Rava says, and the Rishonim explain what this one means. Rabbi Mechasi says, if all the oceans were ink, and all the heavens were paper, and all the reeds and wood in the world were pens, and all the people were writers, they wouldn't be able to write down all that is going on in a king's heart, because he has so much to deal with that it's impossible to write down. And some Rishonim explain it means that you should never judge a government because there's so much going on. You should daven for the government, etc. Rabbi Mechasi says, if a person has a very bad dream, there's nothing like a good fast to get rid of that dream. Just like fire destroys linen, a fast destroys a bad dream. In fact, Gemara says you should fast immediately, don't push it off, even if that means to fast on Shabbos, which typically you're not allowed to do. Gemara tells us Rabbi Shua went to visit Rav Ashi, and they brought out in front of him the best veal possible, igla tilta, and he refused to eat it. He said, I'm fasting today. They said, well, you could always push off a fast, be mashlamit, do it on a different day. He said, not a tainas chalaim. Tainas chalaim you have to do today, even if it means to fast on Shabbos. We had in the Mishnah, if a person started taking a haircut, or he went to the bathhouse, or he started his meal, he doesn't have to stop to say Shemona Esrei for Mincha. But Kriya Shema he does have to stop for. And then the Mishnah finishes off, but he doesn't have to stop for Shemona Esrei. What does that mean? We already said that once. Says the Gemara, we're talking about somebody who's learning Torah. You don't stop learning Torah to daven. And that is if you are, like Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, Torah somebody whose job it is to learn Torah, and he never stops learning, then he doesn't stop for davening Shemona Esrei. But he does have to stop for Kriya Shema, which is the Iraisa. The only time they don't stop for Kriya Shema is when they're debating whether or not to add another month to the year, a Ibur Shana. The Mishnah says that a tailor should not walk out with a pin. Just like a writer should not walk out with a pen a half hour before Shabbos, because he might come to forget that it's Shabbos, and he'll walk Dalet Amis, or he'll bring his pin or his pen from Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah. There's a Mishnah in Eruvin that says that a person should not stand in one domain and drink from another domain from a cup. So you shouldn't stand in Rosh Hashanah, lean over into Rosh Hashanah and drink, or vice versa, because you might bring the cup back into the other Roshos, you'll be over on Eitzah. And then the Mishnah finishes off, V'chein begas, and the same halacha applies to a wine press. Abaye learns that a wine press is a karmelis. In other words, we discussed already Rosh Hashanah and Rosh Hashanah. Now we're talking about a third Roshos, which is the Roshos Midrabanan, like a sea, a valley, a smaller street, not 16 amas. And the Mishnah is telling us, don't stand in a karmelis and bend over into Rosh Hashanah or vice versa and drink. Rava says no. That would consist of gzera, and we don't do gzera. It's a double safeguard. Meaning, a karmelis is a safeguard that you might carry in Rosh Hashanah. So that's one safeguard. Now I'm telling the person, don't carry something before Shabbos because you might carry it on Shabbos. That's a double safeguard. We don't do that. So what is the Mishnah talking about? Meiser. Before I drink wine, I have to take 10% and give it away to Meiser. That's only if the wine is a finished product. But if he drinks it from the wine press directly, his whole body is in the wine press, then it's a non-finished product. He doesn't have to take Meiser. That's what the Mishnah is telling me. We have a similar Mishnah that says Remeir holds that if you dilute wine, doesn't matter if it's with cold water or hot water, and you drink it casually, meaning it's a shtiyas arai, you're leaning over into the wine press. Roishe v'ruba, most of your body's in the wine press. You don't have to take a meiser. Reb Lezer Reb Tzaddik says no. Once you dilute the wine, that's the finished product. You have to take meiser. And Chacham make a compromise. They say it depends. If it's diluted with cold water, I could always pour it back into the wine press, so it's an unfinished product. I don't have to take meiser. But if I used hot water, then I can't put it back in the wine press. It'll spoil the rest of the wine. Then I must take meiser. Now, there's a brisa that says that a person should not take a pin and put it in his clothing and walk outside before Shabbos. Unlike our Mishnah, that we can't prove exactly what it's talking about, maybe he's holding it in his hand, and to walk with a pin in your hand would be a deraisa. Putting a pin in your clothing is only the Rabbanan. So over here it says there's a gzeira. Don't put the pin in your clothing. That's one gzeira. Walking with that is only the Rabbanan. And the second gzeira is you might forget. So the Gemara, we must say, in order to explain Rava, who says there is no gzeira, it goes according to Rabbi Yehuda, that holds that a professional, a tailor, since it is the way for him to walk out with the pin in his clothing, then that's not considered a gzera anymore. So now we're down to one gzera. Similar to what we have in the Brisa. It says that a tailor should not walk out with a pin in his clothing, nor should a carpenter walk out with a pencil or a piece of wood in his ear, or a money changer. They used to walk around with money in their ear to show people that they're money changers. And if he does so, he's pater, but it's aser. That would go according to Reb Meir. But Rabbi Yehuda says that a professional person, if that's his profession, he is chayav. It's only everybody else who is pater. And there's a contradiction in the brises. One brise says that a zav that has emissions and he wears a pouch, a kiss, a diaper to see whether or not he has additional emissions, it's also for him to walk out like that on Shabbos because it's not the way to walk around with the pouch. And if he does, pater aval aser. It's aser. No more than that. The other brisa says not only is it aser, but it's chai v'chatos. Perhaps we can reconcile the brises and say the brisa that says that it's aser goes according to Rabbi Yehuda. This particular person, it is his way to wear a pouch, and therefore for him, it's aser is considered the derech to wear it. The other brisa goes according to Reb Meir that says since most people don't wear pouches, it's pater. Says Abaya. Even Reb Meir agrees that it has to be that no one wears it like this. Where if some people wear it and some people don't, the professionals do wear it, Reb Meir will agree that it's aser. Baraya, if somebody drills a hole, that a professional usually drills a larger hole, and he drills a smaller hole, you think this guy is pater? Of course not. Therefore, Rabbi says, we're talking about one baraisa, a zav only saw 2 sightings. And in order for him to be a zav gomer, he has to see 3 sightings. So for him, it's necessary to wear the pouch. That's why he's chayev. The second baraisa is talking about that he already had 3 re'iyos, and it's that day. So therefore, the pouch doesn't really accomplish anything, and that's why he is pater. The fact that the pouch prevents his clothing from becoming dirty, that's not considered enough of a usage of a tzorich, and therefore he is pater. Have a wonderful day.